Every young woman, regardless of where she comes from, carries a universal dream of finding love, building a family, and living a life filled with happiness and purpose. Neha, a radiant soul from the humble village of Jindri, nestled near the sacred Sri Anandpur Sahib in Rupnagar, Punjab, was no exception. At just 23 or 24 years old, she was more than just a daughter. She was the heartbeat of an ordinary family, whose bright smile had the power to make anyone around her happy. She was, as many in her community felt, like their own beloved daughter. But Neha possessed a spirit that transcended the ordinary. Born into a Hindu family, with her parents and relatives following the ancestral faith, Neha's heart found its deepest devotion in the profound teachings of Sikhism. It wasn't a casual interest. It was a deeply personal journey of learning and conviction. She delved into the tenets of the faith, and with unwavering resolve, she embraced Sikhism, becoming Amritdhari after undergoing the sacred Amrit Sanskar ceremony. She was the sole member of her family to walk this path, a testament to her profound faith. Though her family initially hesitated, witnessing the depth of her devotion, they ultimately supported her decision, a truly beautiful act of acceptance. In November of 2024, Neha's cherished dreams seemed to unfurl into reality. Her parents, seeking a stable and loving future for their daughter, arranged her marriage to Sanjeev Kumar, an army personnel hailing from Rampur Gujran village in the Nalagarh subdivision of Solan district, Himachal Pradesh. Neha, with an open heart and a deep respect for her family's choice, accepted this union. The bedrock of this marriage, as understood by both families, was a crucial agreement. Neha's deeply held religious beliefs and practices as an Amritdhari Sikh would be fully respected and honored. The initial days were filled with palpable happiness. Neha's family believed they had found a good match for their daughter, a stable government job, a seemingly decent family. Neha herself was radiant with excitement, eager to embark on this new life, to build a home with her husband, and to integrate into her new family. The air was thick with the promise of a fulfilling partnership, a fresh start, and a future brimming with shared joys. But the warmth of those hopeful beginnings began to chill almost immediately. The vibrant home Neha had envisioned quickly transformed into a place of growing unease. Allegations from her grieving family paint a chilling and insidious picture. Shortly after the wedding, her in-laws allegedly began to exert immense pressure for dowry. Their demand was stark, unambiguous: a car. Neha, caught in an agonizing bind, desperately tried to preserve her marriage, to uphold her family's honor. She initially tolerated the escalating harassment, hoping, praying, that things would somehow improve. Her brother Naresh recounts the relentless barrage of taunts, the constant suffocating demand for that car. Beyond the relentless pursuit of material gain, a far more cruel assault began, an attack on the very core of Neha's being, her Sikh faith and practices. Despite the initial solemn agreement to respect her religious observance, her in-laws allegedly started interfering, directly undermining her beliefs. They reportedly pressured her to cook and consume meat and eggs, a direct contradiction to her Amritdhari principle. They attempted to control her most sacred moments, dictating when she could perform her daily prayers, her nitnam, telling her she could only do so after everyone else had eaten and finished their work, effectively denying her the spiritual solace and discipline she cherished. And then, the ultimate violation: her sacred kakars, the articles of faith that are integral to a Gursikh's identity, were allegedly removed by her in-law. But perhaps the most profoundly distressing act mentioned, one that Neha's family describes as breaking her very last religious commitment, was them allegedly forcing a nose piercing or pin onto her. This was not only against her personal wishes, but a direct affront to her identity as a Gursikh. The sisters-in-law, in particular, are named as tormentors in this harrowing ordeal. It was an insidious campaign, designed to strip away not just her possessions, but her very spiritual essence. The harassment quickly escalated from insidious mental torment to overt physical abuse. Neha was allegedly subjected to relentless taunts, reportedly beaten, and at times even locked in the kitchen over the most trivial of issues. The home that was meant to be her sanctuary became a prison, and the most heartbreaking betrayal. Her husband Sanjeev, who had initially seemed like the desired prince, the stable partner, allegedly joined his parents in tormenting Neha. He reportedly would physically assault her. He is accused of giving her cruel directives, telling her not to leave the kitchen until he returned from duty, no matter how late, and that she must prepare him hot food. If she succumbed to exhaustion and fell asleep before his return, She was allegedly subjected to physical torture. This was not just a husband, it was an alleged accomplice in her torment. In her desperation, Neha repeatedly confided in her parents and brother, sharing the chilling details of the abuse and the unrelenting demands. Yet, in a tragic pattern seen in far too many such cases, she was often given advice to adjust, to be patient, to hope that with time, things would magically improve. This advice, born perhaps out of love and a desire for her marriage to succeed, proved to be catastrophically wrong. It left Neha isolated, enduring the unimaginable, clinging to a hope that was cruelly misplaced. The escalating nightmare reached its horrific climax on the evening of April 19, 2025, a mere 5 months after her wedding. The phone rang late at night, around 8 p.m., 8:30 to 9 p.m., or possibly 9 p.m. The call, described variously as being from a neighbor or Sanjeev's uncle, carried a chilling message. Neha's health was unwell. There had been a minor argument. Perhaps she had eaten something wrong. Come quickly, they urged, and take her. Neha's family, gripped by an immediate sense of dread, abandoned everything and raced from Punjab towards Rampur, Gujarat, their hearts pounding with fear. What awaited them upon arrival was a scene of unspeakable horror, a tableau of deliberate cruelty. Neha lay unconscious on a bed in a room, completely unresponsive. She was covered in her own urine and feces, a heartbreaking sign of her suffering. Yet, horrifyingly, her in-laws had placed a sheet beneath her, allegedly to prevent the bed from getting dirty, prioritizing furniture over a dying human being. Her sacred kakars were found removed and placed casually to the side. Meanwhile, Neha's in-laws sat calmly in another room, appearing utterly detached, as if nothing catastrophic had transpired. They seemed to be in a hushed discussion, possibly weighing their next moves, clearly fearing legal ramifications. Neha's face, even in unconsciousness, was etched with signs of profound pain, her breathing shallow and ragged. Her family immediately realized the catastrophic severity of her condition. As they desperately tried to lift her, to rush her to a hospital, the in-laws and a local leader named Dara Pradhan allegedly attempted to stop them. They insisted on a discussion, demanding that Neha's family agree to state she was being taken away in good health. This was not an act of concern. It was a desperate attempt to manipulate the narrative. Neha's brother, Harpreet, frantically checked her, finding she was barely breathing but still clung to a faint sign of life. This minuscule glimmer propelled them into action. They felt a profound sense of conspiracy, a chilling realization that this was no accident. Despite attempts to block their vehicle, they managed to get Neha into their car and escape, fighting against every obstacle. Neha was first rushed to a nearby medical facility, Parmar Hospital. The doctors there immediately recognized the catastrophic severity of her condition. Their diagnosis was chillingly clear. Neha had ingested a massive, life-threatening amount of poison. Recognizing her critical state, they immediately referred her to the Postgraduate Institute of Medical Education and Research, PGI, in Chandigarh, the only place equipped to handle such a severe poisoning. Neha's husband, Sanjeev, reportedly accompanied them to the local hospital, but in a crucial act of abandonment, he did not go with them to PGI Chandigarh. His absence spoke volumes. Neha was admitted to PGI Chandigarh in the early hours of April 20th, arriving around 1 a.m. The medical team at PGI confirmed the devastating truth. An extraordinarily large quantity of poison was found in her system, estimated to be around 1.5 bottles. Despite every valiant attempt by the doctors to save her, her condition was too severe, the poison too potent, the delay too great. Neha fought with every fiber of her being for 5 agonizing days, but her young life, so full of promise, tragically slipped away on the morning of April 25th, 2025. Neha's death devastated her family, tearing their world apart. Her mother was plunged into a profound state of shock and inconsolable grief. Her brother Naresh was unyielding in his conviction. This was not a natural death. He alleged with chilling certainty that her in-laws had poisoned her for dowry. The family noted the deeply suspicious behavior of the in-laws, their chilling indifference to Neha's critical state, their complete failure to visit her even once in the hospital. The delay in informing Neha's family was a major point of suspicion, indicating a deliberate, sinister motive. The family firmly believes they were informed approximately 32 to 36 hours after Neha had ingested the poison, a calculated delay, they allege, to ensure she would not survive or regain consciousness to provide a statement. Doctors reportedly indicated that earlier intervention might indeed have saved her precious life. Neha's family, broken but resolute, filed a formal complaint at the Jogo police station. However, their initial experience was marred by frustration due to the police's apparent slow response and perceived lack of urgency. Reports indicated it took police 3 hours to reach the scene, and shocking details emerged, such as the local in charge being unaware of the Nalagarh SHO's contact number. On April 21st, Naresh formally registered a complaint, explicitly accusing the in-laws of mental and physical torture for dowry. The initial First Information Report, FIR, was registered under sections of the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita (BNS) related to harassment. However, following Neha's tragic death, and based on the family's compelling allegations and the crucial post-mortem finding, more severe sections were added. BNS 80, related to dowry death, and BNS 103, for murder. The gravity of the crime was now fully recognized. Facing what they perceived as continued police inaction and the sheer gravity of the heinous crime, Neha's family, supported by an outraged and grieving community from Anandpur Sahib, rose in powerful protests. They held demonstrations outside the Nalagarh police station and on the National Highway 105 bypass road. Their voices unified in a cry for justice. In a heartbreaking and potent act, they placed Neha's body on the road, a stark visual plea for immediate action. Hundreds participated, shouting slogans demanding justice for Neha and condemning the initial police inaction. Under immense public pressure and following the critical findings of the post-mortem examination, police began to take more decisive and urgent action. The post-mortem report was absolutely crucial. It definitively indicated the presence of a large quantity of poison and, even more significantly, identified marks on Neha's body, on her hands, throat, shoulders, and biceps, strongly suggesting that the poison was administered forcefully. This evidence directly and definitively contradicted the in-law's false claim that she had consumed it herself. This was clear evidence of murder. Based on this compelling evidence and the unwavering public pressure, police finally arrested 4 individuals: Neha's husband, Sanjeev Kumar, her mother-in-law, Tej Kaur, and 2 other relatives, Karam Chand and Raj Singh. The wheels of justice, though slow, had finally begun to turn. While 4 key individuals have been apprehended, 2 other accused, identified as Neha's sisters-in-law, Anju and Manjeet Kaur, remain absconding. Neha's family firmly believes these sisters-in-law were significantly involved in the cruel torment that ultimately led to Neha's death. Police teams have reportedly been dispatched, actively searching for them, committed to bringing all involved to justice. DSP Bhishma Thakur and SP Vinod Diman have addressed the protesters, offering assurances of a thorough and impartial investigation and promising relentless efforts to apprehend those who are still at large. The Punjab State Women's Commission has also taken official cognizance of this deeply disturbing case, urging the SSP Rupnagar to conduct a fair and unbiased inquiry. Advocate Vishal Saini, a committed legal advocate, is now representing Neha's family, vowing to fight relentlessly for justice, even escalating the case to the high court level if necessary. The resolve to ensure every culprit faces the full force of the law is unwavering. Neha's story, in its agonizing detail, is more than just a personal tragedy. It is a searing, undeniable indictment of the persistent and insidious problem of dowry-related violence and harassment that continues to plague our society. Her dreams, once so vibrant and full of life, were cruelly extinguished by greed, malice, and systemic cruelty. Her wedding videos, once joyous celebrations of a new beginning, now stand as a stark, heart-wrenching contrast to her agonizing and unjust end. Her case has resonated widely, sparking profound sorrow and righteous anger across communities. Neha's death cannot be in vain. It must serve as a powerful catalyst for change, a loud, undeniable cry for greater awareness, for stronger legislative action, and for a societal shift that values its daughters more profoundly than any material possession. Let Neha's memory empower us all to stand united against the scourge of dowry, to protect every vulnerable bride, and to ensure that no promise of forever is ever broken by such chilling injustice again. May Neha find peace and her story spark justice for all. Justice.